Lowe's knows how to help make your home holiday ready for less. Get Select Style Selections vinyl flooring for just $1.99 per square foot and have it installed before the festivities begin. Our team can help you every step of the way. See a Lowe's Red Vest associate or visit lowes.com/holiday install to get started. Lowe's, we help, you save. Basic install only. Date restrictions apply. Subject to availability. Installed by independent contractors. See associate for details. Contiguous U.S. only.
Valspar Ultra starts at just $29.98 a gallon. So we've got you covered when your daughter wants to paint her room again after last year's masterpiece of a unicorn mural.
Dad, please.
Or when you realize that maybe you went too hard on the grayish.
I miss color.
Or when you were sure you wanted a home gym, but your elliptical is currently hanging your laundry.
What about a home office?
Shop everything you need for your next phase with Valspar. Available at Lowe's. Price varies by Shein.
To another episode of our series where we present Polish handmade artists, but we translate our interviews with them into English so you can get to know them. Today I've got a story of Sławomir Wesołek for you. Sławomir Wesołek is a shoemaker, and he has been running his workshop for many years, nearly 40 years to be exact. He provided services and manufactured shoes for over 40 years. He used to make shoes and sell them on markets, and then he made shoes and put them in stores. And then he went back to providing only services, and now he basically repairs shoes. The story I tell you is presented way better in previous episode in an interview made by Karolina and Justyna, which I translated with my friend and then provided you with a short overview. So let's dive deep into that. So now Sławomir is working as a shoemaker, or actually somebody who repairs shoes for over many years. He manufactured custom-made shoes for many years, but the upper manufacturer who worked with him is over 90 years old now. So his mentor is 90 years old now. So he stopped making custom-made shoes, and now he basically focused on services around shoes. And his workshop is based in Wągrowiec, actually on Reja Street. So you basically can visit him and see his work. Yeah, he actually invites everybody in. His grandfather was a shoemaker and did set up the workshop in 1912. And then his father had his workshop in Bydgoszcz, and also used to have workshop, and he also used to have a workshop in Bydgoszcz, but now he moved to Wągrowiec. And he keeps providing services, not only shoemaker services, but also the upper manufacturers, because he's both a shoemaker and an upper manufacturer. He repairs shoes, handbags, stretches or tightens boots, and sews zippers. Wide range of services is something that keeps his entrepreneurial life alive. He fixes belts and dressing cases, everything that can be sewn, even riding boots or bridles. He also makes all sorts of things like transmission belts or dog leathers. That's a really wide range of services. When Justyna asked if he could tell what's the difference between a shoemaker and an upper manufacturer, he said that upper manufacturer makes the uppers of the soles, and the shoemaker makes the soles themselves. So that's a basic difference between those two. And sometimes, like nowadays, there are many cobblers who can only fix the sole, for example, the heel top, and that's it, right? And they don't even have sewing machines. So he sews many things, backpacks and handbags, and he fixes them. So that's why he's both a shoemaker and an upper manufacturer, right? So as you already heard, that's a family tradition that he works with shoes, and having a workshop is something natural for him. But was it easy to learn the profession, or was it just, something that he just inherited? He said he admitted that he was 10 years old when he started helping his father and have been working in this profession since he was 15. So that makes over 40 years of working as a shoemaker. When asked, does he have any students, or are people willing to or wanting to learn from him, he said that he trained students, but he doesn't have them anymore because the profession is actually disappearing and it's not really profitable. So working in this profession now really is kind of a hobby. He admitted that it is, but he said that it's only a few years until retirement, so he's not really interested in earning a lot of money. He's just happy about doing that. When asked what changes occurred in his profession during his practice, he admitted that a lot of things has changed. New technologies, new types of rubber, new colors that are available, better and more modern tools. That makes the job way easier. I can do many things better, differently, he admitted. And when asked, has he ever had an order for some special shoes, like something unique, he said he used to make measured orthopedic shoes. Apart from what he has made, like orthopedic shoes, he has made a lot of original shoes just for himself. Like those kinds that nobody had. And he had red and black, white and black. He even had some cowboy boots or upper, where the upper was white and the boot gray, styled like a crocodile skin. They were so uncommon that wherever he went, people were staring at them. Nobody had such shoes, right? Because they were not available for purchase. Nowadays, he sells a lot of those shoes, like unique shoes, when something breaks. He tightens the boots or shoes where they are too tight, he can make them fit perfectly. Uh, he when asked where does those misfits from shoes come from, when asked whether they come from ill shaped heels or something like that, he admitted that it is not necessarily the case. He said if the shoe is well shaped, heels don't have to be the cause. The flat shoes, though, definitely cause flat feet in young people, because from a young age they wear shoes that don't have the curve inside. If the shoe is poorly shaped, that's what happens. People buy too tight shoes instead of having them stretched. They wear them because they are so cool. Eventually, they will squeeze the foot so that the bone starts growing badly. A lot of people buy bad shoes, too tight. You can always have them stretched at the shoemaker's, but people just don't know that. Young people these days don't even know they can have their shoes fixed or stretched. He admitted the older, like elderly people, they knew everything can be done, but young people don't pay attention to that. They wear those ill-shaped shoes out of ignorance. People often order shoes online because of the pandemic, for example, and often the ordered shoes turn out to be too small or too big or ill-shaped. Those who know bring them to a shoemaker like him, and they just stretch them. And those who don't know that it can be done, they just try to endure. They try to stretch the shoes with water or vinegar. They try all sorts of weird things, but they don't succeed. Sometimes they can even make the shoes shrink. But that means that years of practice and experience in the profession, uh, those information you're hearing now, they didn't come from 1 or 2 years of practice. And when asked about those things that he could share or talk about that could be interesting for us, he decided to tell us a bit about tools and machines. When Justina asked for the machine, the thing that she could see in the workshop was the Singer pre-war machine. As he admitted, that was this kind of equipment that was used in the olden days. Today, there are way modern machines that are extremely expensive. A craftsman can't afford them. That's why he has the Singer machine, and he sews the upper manufacturer's things on it, such as fitting too wide or too narrow shoes, making straps, handbags. And for harder things, thicker stuff, he has another machine. He has a polisher to polish the heel tabs after replacing. He has to make the heel tabs from scratch. There are no ready-made heel tabs now. Everything he has to make, the big ones, the small ones, he has to make them himself. He polishes everything using the polisher. That's why he has a bigger and smaller wheel. Nowadays, it happens rarely, but sometimes someone will bring leather shoes and he can wax them. There were those pre-war luxurious shoes for chairmen, high-end, as they say. You can order such shoes or buy them. They cost 5 or even up to 7,000 zlotys. They are made of leather and sewn, not glued. He also has such nice various kinds of more expensive shoes. There is a Polish saying that szewc bez butów chodzi, which has a similar meaning to none more bare than the shoemaker's wife and the smith's mare. But the Polish saying none is more bare than the shoemaker himself. But with me, as he admitted, it's completely opposite. He loves shoes. When he was asked by Justina, the women order shoes like extraordinary occasions like wedding shoes. Does he make even those wedding shoes? He admitted that not really, but he oftentimes makes adjustments to wedding shoes because they don't fit and he fixes them. Because they are too tight, or he stretches them to make them fit perfectly, or he makes a strap for lowering the heel when they are too high, and then they don't fit perfectly. They are really pretty shoes, but not really practical, and he, in a way, makes them practical to, they dance the whole night away. It is really hard to make a well-shaped shoe, as you see. He admits it's true, but it's not so easy to buy one as well, these days especially. Those shoes nowadays are actually made in quantity, not the quality. He admitted that better companies like Voyas, Reuco, Gino Rossi or Vanessa make better shoes, but for the appropriate sum. And shoes like this ones are just for one season. And when asked how many Polish companies he knows that sew shoes, like sew, not glue, he admitted that there are not so many of them, and also admitted that it is still cheaper to have everything done in China or Korea. So sometimes we see that the company is Polish, but the shoes are not actually manufactured here. But when he said that there actually are some factories that manufacture in Poland, he admitted that there are some really good shoes, but they oftentimes range from 500 zlotys upwards. He also provided us with a simple example. He himself bought shoes for 200 something, and he knows that those shoes he will wear them for over 4 years and probably even more. But if he bought them for 70 or 80 zlotys, like those cheap accessible shoes, he knows that he would have to throw them away after one season. So simple calculation is like 4 times 70 is 280. Instead, he bought one pair for over 200. zlotys. And, we have to admit that it's way, way cheaper and way, way, more comfortable because you don't have to spend that much time choosing every season and then a new pair of shoes. Yeah, so maybe that's a calculation that we could bear in mind that it comes, from a shoemaker. So maybe there's this a good point to that. Now, when he had this shoe in his hand during this interview, Carolina asked him to tell us a bit more about those parts of shoe, right? So we as listeners could know something more about those parts, separate parts of shoes. So of course, the top is called the upper, and then we have the lining, the insole, midsole, outsole, and the heel. And he said nowadays artificial leathers are made from, pineapple or paper. Um, they're getting more and more popularity. And as he admitted, he hasn't worked with those materials, but he tells us that he has a hat, and he will show us because he had no idea what was the material, but surely that wasn't leather. It was artificial, but uh, he said his head doesn't sweat at all. So he wasn't sure whether that was this, pineapple leather or some kind of other artificial leather, but he said that the material's quality was quite good. So maybe there is something to those, eco leather. So as a shoemaker, as somebody well experienced in working with a real leather, he said there's always an alternative. Artificial leather is really good, as he said, but not oilskin. That makes the foot all sweaty and basically it's unsuitable to wear. So you can smell the chemicals and feet get all wet. So it doesn't breathe, as you say. But the artificial leather, like the one used by Adidas or Nike, is not that bad. They have this technology that makes that breathable, as he said. Carolina also had a technical question. If you were to compare your work 40 years ago and now, would you say it's easier thanks to all the new tools and materials? Can you make and fix the shoes faster than before? And I must admit that I was, a bit curious what would be the answer. And he said, obviously, it's way easier now. He used to have to polish with paper, and now he has a polisher, so special machine. He used to have to heat the water into in a teapot and heat the shoes up on a steam, and now he has a blowtorch that heats them instantly. This makes his work way, way easier. So there is this, progress in this profession, which is updated via new machines or new techniques, new technologies. So it it might be said that the job is not that physically demanding as it used to be. But for that commentary, he said, sure, look at my hand. It's like doctor's hand. He said he has professional screwdriver, like magnetic screwdrivers. Just need to hold, screw, and done. Good quality scissors, sharp as a razor. And he also admitted that what is needed in this profession is not really much of patience, maybe just a little bit. It depends on what you're doing. There are things that require patience and there are some that don't. Sometimes there are those thrills, cost ineffective, that he does only to satisfy the client. And he does it for pleasure, not money, because for some things there's so little money. He repairs something for an hour and takes 7 zlotys, for example. And you have to add tax and all the rest for that, right? He can take more, and that's how he spends an hour for pleasure and not money, and for keeping the client instead of, letting him go. In the past, people treated their shoes with more respect than now. That's way obvious thing. And now the shoes are so cheap that young change them every now and then. just like that. But it might be admitted that people get back to natural materials. He admitted that people start to understand that if they buy a more expensive shirt or shoe, they will be able to wash it many times, and when taken care of like properly, it will last way, way longer. It's just like leather shoes. They are like new for a long, long time. So you can wear them longer, wax them, refresh them, and they are really still fine and look great after many, many years. And how to take care of one's shoes so we can wear them longer? That's a question for a specialist, right? So there are polishers and waxes, and he has like all of them, so he can do it for you. He also repairs shoes, refreshes them on the occasions, and he sometimes takes nothing for that because he loves doing that. He has polish in many colors, brushes for applying it, and for polishing different, for black and different for other colors. He admits that after refreshing, those shoes are practically like new. And the clients are really happy because they bring dirty shoes and pick up shiny like new ones. And it's not much of a cost for him, but it's a way of gaining new clients as well. He has paper bags with his stamp on each side, and it makes advertisement for his workshop when people carry their shoes home. That's one of his ways to bring some more clients and educate people about how the shoes should be treated. And when asked how he was like learning how to become a shoemaker, just as we admitted at the beginning, and actually where, right? He said that there are not that really special shoe schools for that, but he said if somebody wanted to learn how to do that, he admitted that his last student came from the labor office. He was of age. He was of age of around 21, and the labor office paid him 900 zlotys for the practice, right? And later on, he learned the extended upper manufacturing had the papers issued in Katowice, and now he can go all over Europe and find a job and make a decent money out of his profession. Especially that abroad, those skills are gaining more and more popularity, especially in renowned, handmade workshops. Is this profession disappearing in Poland only, or is it disappearing only in Poland, as we might admit, or is it disappearing all over the world? For this question by Justyna, he said he doesn't know about the world, but here in Poland, it is disappearing because it's not very profitable. In smaller towns, there is a little work, and in cities, the rent is so high that it makes it impossible to even rent the place. Although there still are shoemakers, someone has to repair shoes. If you buy high heels for 600 zlotys and then heel tip falls off after one evening, what do? You don't throw away shoes for 600 zlotys, right? You invest 30 zlotys and keep on using them when they are repaired. And if your husband buys elegant shoes for 600 zlotys and scratches the tip, and it falls off, he also won't throw them away. It's a tenner to glue a shoe. It pays off to repair, even for a user that is high demanding and has the budget to buy a new pair of shoes. So maybe there is a hope for shoemakers. What do you think? After those couple of questions, it's really important for us to remember that it might be that in some years we won't find any more shoemakers. I hope that this episode will make you think differently about your shoes, about the process, how you buy your shoes, how you take care of your shoes, and what shoes you choose. I know it might seem funny. It might seem that this handmade world is living somewhere, parallel to our everyday life, hectic pace of everyday life. But I just hope that each time you look at your shoes or make the decision to buy a new one, you will have in mind this podcast episode. See you in the next episode.